Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio today, Monica Nyman with the St. Louis District Dairy Council. Good morning, Monica.
Good morning.
Happy summer. Happy June Dairy Month.
Yes, it's a really exciting month around the St. Louis District Dairy Council.
Off to a hot start in June, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Well, let's dive into June Dairy Month. What is the theme? What's the significance this year? Talk about those things.
Sure. So June Dairy Month, it actually started a really long time ago. They called it National Milk Month back in 1937. So it's been going on for a really long time. A couple years after that, though, they decided to change the name. So they changed it to National Dairy Month back in 1939, really just to encompass all of those different types of dairy foods that were being made with milk. So really for this month, our focus is just to remind consumers about the importance of dairy in a healthy diet and to give a shout out to those hardworking dairy farmers. We've had some pretty hot temperatures. I tend to think about them more when it's like -40 out in the wintertime.
Yeah,
but
right.
now
For sure.
they're still having to do all of those farm chores, taking care of all of the animals, feeding them. They're also planting a lot of the fields. Hopefully they're done with that at this point. But they're very busy, and so we like to just give an extra shout out to them during June Dairy Month.
Well, there's so many things you could probably highlight during June Dairy Month. You could highlight the farmers you're talking about, the producers, those that raise these cows for milking purposes and those sorts of things. You could highlight all the benefits of milk. But this year there's a rather significant milestone as it pertains to June Dairy Month. How about that, Monica?
There is. So this year is the 100th anniversary of the Standard Milk Ordinance, and now we actually call that the Grade A Pasteurized Milk Ordinance. And so basically what that means is since 1924, pasteurization in the U.S. has been guided by this federal document. So it's evaluated every couple of years, and really it just provides some guidelines and some stringent requirements in all of those facilities that do pasteurization when it comes to dairy products. So, they look at the sanitary design, the safety controls, the material standards. And so this ordinance, it really just sets the standard for processing and packaging of grade A milk in those pasteurization facilities.
Yeah.
So one thing that's kind of neat about this is that it really kind of brought some attention to milk in the country. And so, in the state of Illinois, we have, the state bird and the flower. I learned on one of my previous radio stations, we also have a state rock that I was not aware of. But with that being said, milk is actually the state beverage in 20 states across the country.
That's interesting.
And 33 of them have about a state beverage. And
Yeah.
so we like to say that milk is the most popular beverage among states in the U.S.
Well, my question becomes: there's got to be a state where beer is the national or the state beverage, right? I mean, you would think somebody's got beer as a state beverage.
Perhaps you could probably look that up online.
I would think so. I thought that would be the most popular. Apparently not. Monica, pasteurization. Okay, we hear that term. We see it on so many labels and containers and all of that. What is pasteurization?
Okay, so the point of pasteurization is heating something to kill anything that could potentially be harmful in it. So actually, back in the 1860s, a microbiologist named Louis Pasteur, which is where the name comes from, he sort of stumbled upon this by heating wine and beer to kill those organisms that were causing spoilage. So he kind of just figured that out on his own. And in the United States, we've actually been pasteurizing things prior to World War II, so for quite a long time. And in the dairy industry, there's a couple different types of pasteurization. So the first one is small batch. If you visit a local cheese creamery or artisan cheese facility or an ice cream facility, you'll see a really large stainless steel container. It's called a vat. And they put the milk in there and they heat it up to 145 degrees for about 30 minutes. So that's a small batch process. Probably the most common is the high temperature short time, and that is 161 degrees for about 15 seconds. And then the last term, which you might have seen in the grocery store, it's called ultra pasteurization. So two things about this. it heats to 285 degrees for just a couple seconds. But with that, it gives the milk a significantly longer shelf life. So if you're in the grocery store and you see a carton of milk or even a gallon of milk that says the expiration date isn't for a month, it's going to be ultra pasteurized. And that's why it provides that longer shelf life. So it's great for the shelf stable packaging for people that maybe don't get to the grocery store every single week to purchase their fresh milk. But just so listeners are aware, every milk available in the grocery store, no matter what brand it is, no matter what color the cap is, it is all pasteurized. And that, again, is for consumer safety.
So it doesn't have to do with the pasture the cow was raised in. You know, it's a totally different spelling from that.
It is,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good point. So, yeah, it's basically just heating it so that it can kill anything that potentially could be unsafe just for consumer safety.
Gotcha. Very good. Monica Nyman, St. Louis District Dairy Council, in studio with us here for this morning. Anything else on pasteurization we didn't touch on? Anything about just June Dairy Month you wanted to get to that we haven't touched on to this point, Monica?
No, I think we're good so far.
Sure, very good. Well, let's talk a little bit about milk and or dairy, I guess I should say. And we again, I go back to you can highlight so many things with June Dairy Month, and we're talking about the history of some of it, but also just the importance of dairy and the nutritional value it brings to us. Let's dive into some of that.
Sure. Okay. Well, I'll start with the dietary guidelines does recommend 3 servings of dairy each and every day. And what that is considered, it's a cup of milk, a cup of yogurt, or 1.5 ounces of cheese. So you can mix and match. You can do it all with yogurt, all with milk. The dairy food group does pair well with all other foods, and there's so much variety in the grocery store when it comes to the dairy case. So nutritionally, though, milk does contain 13 nutrients that you have to get every single day, really to provide function to all of the body things that are going on. And so some of those nutrients are calcium, which helps with strong bones, protein that helps build muscle, and a few others, vitamin D, potassium, B vitamins. All of those, again, are important to keep our bodies functioning properly. Because milk is the main ingredient in all of the other dairy foods that are produced, they all have those nutrients as well. So again, 3 servings a day. Most Americans are only getting about 2. That's what we find statistically. So just increasing that by 1 a day is going to give you all of that packaged nutrition that you need for a healthy diet.
Maybe a dumb question. What does a serving of dairy look like? Can you give us a couple examples of what that might be?
Sure. So for breakfast, if you are putting some milk in your coffee or milk in your cereal, if you're using a cup of fluid milk, that's going to give you 1 serving. If you're making a yogurt parfait or a smoothie and you're using a cup of yogurt, that is going to be a serving of dairy. I find cheese is the easiest because the portion is a lot smaller. It's 1.5 ounces. And that is actually about 1.5 like string cheeses. Those have gotten a little bit smaller over the years. So 1.5 ounces of cheese. You can eat it just like that, a string cheese with crackers in your lunchbox. You can put cheese on a sandwich or over a salad. So it's really easy to get those 3 servings of dairy in a day. And the portion sizes, if you actually measure them, most people, unless you cook a lot, don't probably know exactly what a cup is, but 8 ounces isn't that much. And so it's pretty easy to get those 3 servings in each and every day.
Yeah, for sure. So just a question for my own interest. Parfaits, like what is that? What would a parfait look like? How do I prepare that? What do I put in it?
So a parfait actually can be whatever you want it to look like. But my favorite way to make a parfait is, one, I use Greek yogurt because I like the thickness of it. And it also provides about 2 times the amount of protein. So you just put in a dish or a small bowl, I would just put about a cup of yogurt. And then I like to put fresh berries on there. Blueberries and strawberries in particular have a lot of antioxidants in them and fiber. And then you can just sprinkle some granola on top of that. There are lots of varieties of granola at the grocery store. I like to buy the ones that are a little bit lower in sugar. That way they're a little bit healthier. You can always make your own granola. So that's what I would consider a yogurt parfait. And you don't have to put the granola on. You don't have to put the berries on, but that kind of gives it a good balance of nutrition.
Well, and if I'm not mistaken, I know it's not dairy, but granola is a good source of protein, correct?
There are some varieties out there that do have added protein to them, but it's made with oatmeal, and they do put like nuts in it sometimes. So it kind of depends on what brand you're getting. But again, just go ahead and flip that package over and look at your food label. It's going to tell you how many grams of protein you're getting. It's going to tell you how many grams of fiber are in that product, as well as added sugar. So those are really three key things that you want to be looking for.
And how much protein should a person get in a day?
Well, that is actually going to depend on your activity, whether you're male or female. So usually it's about 0.8 to 1 gram per kilogram of body weight. But again, if you're interested in that, you can look up some information online just to get an idea of a reference number. Also, visiting with a registered dietitian who can kind of map out a meal plan for you, kind of run your numbers, take a look at, what your body mass index is, your metabolism, what your normal plan is of what you're doing every single day, to kind of really hone in on those specific numbers.
Sure. Monica, let's take a break here, come back with some more. Where do folks go to learn about all things St. Louis District Dairy Council?
Sure, you can visit our website at stldairycouncil.org.
That is, again, Monica Nyman with the St. Louis District Dairy Council, my guest in studio. More to come with Monica on The Morning Show.
WHOW.
LFB.org.
Let's check the markets on this Wednesday. No trading on this Juneteenth holiday. Corn finishing higher, beans higher, and wheat lower on Tuesday. July corn $4.50 up 6 1/4. September corn up 5 3/4, $4.55 3/4. New crop December $4.67 3/4 up 4 3/4. July beans closing at $11.74 up 16 1/4. August beans up a dime, $11.56. New crop November, $11.32 up 1 3/4. July wheat closing at $5.82 down 9 1/2. September wheat down 9, $5.99. July bean meal $3.64.60 up 4.30. July bean oil $44.30 up 57 cents. August feeders $259.95 down to $1.37. June live cattle closing at $186.67 down 37 cents. July lean hogs $93.77 down $1.60. Closing numbers on Tuesday.
MR Systems Wireless is your local internet provider for Clinton and surrounding area. They have the products you want and the local service you deserve. MR Systems Wireless Internet service for home or business includes unlimited data, unlimited streaming, and unlimited calling. Plans start at just $48 a month and get a free Roku 4 lease with our media packages. Get the speed you need with MR Systems Wireless. Call them at 935-2100. That's 935-2100 for MR Systems Wireless.
Hi, this is Connie at Love It Once More Thrift Store in Clinton. This month, our whole store is on sale because your total purchase is 10% off. Come check out our huge selection of adult, kids, and summer clothes. And remember, everything is 10% off. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, or DivaDailyNews.com.
Hi, this is Ryan Utterback with Utterback Real Estate. It's greening up out there.
Time to work on my golf game.
And a perfect time to make that big move.
Like when my ball moves towards that tree. Oh, geez. 4.
And that's why you're the other Ryan.
Call Utterback Real Estate or click their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Monica Nyman with the St. Louis District Dairy Council is our guest in studio for today. Monica, let's talk about the Olympics and how it is connected to dairy.
Okay, so our theme for this month, for June Dairy Month, is dairy truly is gold medal nutrition, and really kind of just focusing back to some of the talking points that I had earlier about the package of nutrients that you get when you consume dairy. So, we know that milk and dairy foods, they're nutrient dense. They can help athletes perform better. So, we have the Olympics coming up, but there are a lot of people that are really just true athletes on a normal day. I mean, they're going to the gym, they're exercising, they're doing classes, they're working out with their friends. Maybe they're training for something, they have a goal in mind. So, your nutrition is one of the most important things whenever you're trying to reach your goals when it comes to working out. So, but with the dairy food group, the carbohydrates in dairy help to, re-energize your body. We talked about the protein to rebuild those muscles that you're breaking down. And then all different other types of nutrients that help with metabolism or heart health, even gut health, are found in the dairy food group. So, all dairy does play a key role in our diet, but specifically chocolate milk has been found to be one of the best recovery beverages around.
I talked to a football coach. I know you introduced this to us last summer, maybe a while before that. And I talked to a football coach that I know, and I said, do you do this with your athletes? Chocolate milk and promote that after either a workout or practice? He said every practice.
Oh wow,
chocolate milk. Yeah, they get chocolate milk.
Yep.
So yeah.
So there's a lot of research out there that supports using chocolate milk as a recovery beverage. But the interesting thing is that it doesn't actually have to be chocolate milk. It could be strawberry milk, or it could be white milk paired with a simple sugar like a banana. But people really love chocolate milk.
So I can't go home and eat some Reese's and drink some chocolate or drink some milk then?
Well, possibly. Yeah,
okay,
possibly, yeah.
I mean, I could, but that's not really good for me, right?
Yeah, so we kind of focus on chocolate milk because people love the way it tastes. But let me just kind of run through the reasons why it is a perfect recovery beverage. Number one, it has the perfect carbohydrate to protein ratio in that 1 cup of chocolate milk. So it's giving you energy to kind of replenish those glycogen stores that you're losing, and it's giving you the protein to rebuild your muscles. The other thing about milk that people don't realize is that it has electrolytes in it. So all of those nutrients I mentioned earlier, the things that you lose when you're sweating, calcium, potassium, magnesium, sodium, milk is not marketed to have electrolytes, but those are just the nutrients that occur naturally in milk. Okay. And then the other reason that I really like promoting chocolate milk as a recovery beverage, number one is it's inexpensive. It tastes really good. And number two, it's safe. If you go to this grocery store or a supplement store, there are hundreds of options to choose from. A lot of those are not regulated. So you actually don't have any idea what you are putting inside your body. With milk, there are strict regulations from that milk going from on-farm practices all the way through the processing plant into the grocery store. It has that chocolate syrup added to it along the way, but it's a very safe product. So especially, yes, those high school, you were talking about the high school coach, those high school athletes, chocolate milk is one of the best options for them post exercising.
Now, remind me, can it just be like one of those small little containers of chocolate milk you get at the store, maybe buy 4 or 5 of those for your workouts for the week? Or does it have to be come home, pour the glass of milk, get the bottle of chocolate, stir it up? Like, what are your options? How about that?
So actually, any of those would work. It's whatever is convenient for you. And so I did want to provide one other suggestion. So yes, you can buy the single serve, the 16 ounces. If a gallon, if that's less expensive for you, and come home and pour it on your own, that's perfectly fine. If you only have white milk and some Hershey syrup in there, just don't overkill it with the Hershey syrup, because that's going to knock off the balance of carb to protein. But yes, you can make your own homemade chocolate milk at home. The other thing I wanted to mention, if you have issues with lactose intolerance, this is what we do at our house. I buy just a half gallon of lactose-free milk because I have a hard time finding chocolate milk lactose-free. Buy lactose-free white milk. Put the chocolate syrup in there. There's your cup of recovery beverage of chocolate milk that's lactose free.
Gotcha. Interesting stuff. So keep that in mind. What are like the measurements for like how much milk, how much chocolate to put in? If you're doing it on your own.
If you're doing it on your own, I would just follow the recommendation on the syrup package. It's probably going to be about 1 to 2 tablespoons for an 8-ounce portion.
Got it.
Okay. It's easy to. I notice my kids do that. They put a lot lot of chocolate syrup in
Yeah,
there. But
yeah.
it's probably only going to take a couple tablespoons to an 8-ounce cup of white milk.
Gotcha. Very good. Very good, Monica. Well, let's move along here. I love the chocolate milk conversation. Let's talk just about how, individually, folks at home can celebrate, recognize June Dairy Month. What do you got for us?
Yeah, so my first suggestion really is try to strive for those 3 servings of dairy a day, whether you're adding a cup at breakfast. I love putting milk in my coffee. It just kind of smooths it out a little bit more, so I get a lot of milk in first thing in the morning. Maybe it's packing, string cheese for a snack, or making one of those yogurt parfaits that we mentioned, or even some type of a smoothie with all of the fresh fruits that are really tasty this time of year. Try a new dairy food. If it's been a while since you visited the dairy section, or particularly the yogurt section, I think I find that most with consumers, they'll say, oh, I had this one yogurt, but I didn't really like it. And yes, I've tried yogurts that I didn't really like either, but try a different brand, a different flavor. There is so much variety out there. Try a new recipe. And so we've talked a while ago about cottage cheese. I am still seeing recipe after recipe popping up on social media with that single dairy ingredient being used. And so I have kind of a running list at home of things that I want to make with cottage cheese.
Yes,
My most recent recipe was a blueberry muffin. I'm always trying to find healthier snacks for my kids because they're boys, they're high schoolers, and they eat a lot of food. And so I try to have some kind of a muffin that has oatmeal and fruit or whatever in it. And then finally,
Do they take to the healthy stuff, by the way?
Oh yeah, I can mask it. I always put less sugar than the recipe calls. I always use oatmeal because it gives them fiber. And so I use bananas a lot to give it sweetness. There's a lot of recipes online where you can actually make a healthy muffin. They think it's kind of like a dessert or a treat, but actually it just gives them a really great serving of fiber. And the mashed bananas that are always brown on my counter work really well for giving those muffins some sweetness.
Gotcha. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Very good. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Oh, no, that's fine. And then I just was going to mention finally, maybe enjoying some ice cream with your family. There's a lot of great ice cream shops around, just doing something fun to celebrate June Dairy Month.
Sure. Well, we talked recipes there, Monica, and I know you always bring 1 or 2 with you here for our visits. What do you have for us today?
Yeah, so this month we're highlighting the ingredient of chocolate milk, of course. And so we have a homemade chocolate milk pudding. So this is a great recipe. I love it for the summer because it's a cool recipe. Number 2, you can make it with your kids. If you have kids at home that are looking for something to do, get them in the kitchen. And this is a really great recipe for having your kids help you. So it has some chocolate milk, a teeny bit of sugar, some cornstarch for thickening, a couple egg yolks, a little bit of butter and vanilla. So very simple things. Most of that you probably have in your kitchen already. So you're basically just putting that all together, heating it on the stove until it thickens, and it's going to make a delicious pudding. But you can also turn that into a popsicle. So putting into a popsicle mold, or if you don't have popsicle molds, just use a small paper cup with a popsicle stick. It works perfectly fine with that as well. So you can have use that as a dessert, a snack, or a treat after dinner.
Good stuff. Excellent. Well, Monica, where do folks go to learn about this recipe, all the talking points of today? Where do they find that information?
Sure. You can go to our website, which is stldairycouncil.org, and also follow us on social media. We're on Facebook and Instagram at STL Dairy Council.
Easy enough. Monica Nyman, St. Louis District Dairy Council, in studio with us here this morning. Network news on the way on the morning show.
WHOW.
The Big 1520 WHOW Clinton, 92.3 FM W222 BG Clinton, 106.5 FM W293 DJ Normal Bloomington.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. Wildfires have claimed the life of 1 person in New Mexico and forced the evacuation of thousands of residents in the southern part of the state. On KOAT last night, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham said fire crews there are facing a big challenge.
20,000 plus acres, 0% containment.
Moist air from the Gulf of Mexico could be bringing some relief, though, to those firefighters. Meanwhile, new wildfires are spreading in California. One's located east of San Francisco. There's another new blaze in the northern Central Valley. While much of the U.S. remains in the grip of a heat wave, southern Texas is now bracing for a tropical storm. Here's Larry Kelly. He's with the